Jesse. Um, I think this is a really interesting session. I think it maybe is not going to be what everybody thinks. So it's a pleasure to welcome Abdulrahman Ibrahim, Chief of Innovation Data of Madinah. Abdulrahman, it's a pleasure to have you here. I think it's been such an interesting conversation that we've been starting on how you're thinking about Madinah and really kind of what lessons can be learned from the Madinah experience and its positioning. And maybe a great place to start is Madinah, not what you think. So it would be great to understand a little bit about how you're starting to conceptualize the next iteration of Madinah when it comes to innovation and a people-focused city.
Yes, thank you so much, Ben, for having me. Thank you, everyone. Let me introduce myself first. I am a provocative thinker who helps cities and organizations to ask the right questions. Probably by the end of this session, you will have more questions to be answered more than answers to be to be delivered to you. So yes, there is a mainstream perception about Medina that it is a religious city with Mecca, which is true. But this is a challenge in the perspective that we are narrowing, dealing with the city from one angle, from one lens, the pilgrimage lens. A fact, there is no pilgrimage in Medina. The pilgrimage is only in Mecca. People visit Medina for other reasons. Religious reasons are one of the reasons, but not the primary reason. Yet, the national government entities, the residents of Saudi Arabia, people from all around the world sees Medina as Mecca, as we call it in Arabic, two eyes in the same head. Actually, they are completely different. Consequently, the expectations of the visitors are different, and the expectations of the residents, the 1.5 million residents that inhabits the city, are different as well. This is the right introductory question to ask, can a city that is deeply rooted in religion, history, and culture be a smart and sustainable city?
So we've been talking a lot about this idea of technology as a solution and a panacea, which a lot of people are going, great, we're getting technology, we've solved it all. And coming back to this idea of what is the right question to ask? For me, I always look at technology as being when you apply it in the right places in the right way, it can help you get to where you want. How has your technology journey in Medina been shaped, and what's been successful, and what hasn't the market given you when you've needed it?
Okay. Another true fact, in the past 3 years, Medina is the most Saudi awarded city worldwide by international prizes in smart cities. And the main reason for that is not because of the technology adoption per se, but again, because we ask the right questions. The question that we ask ourselves, how can technology help us? What are we trying to achieve by technology adoption? Throughout our journey, we've learned a couple of lessons. First, each city is unique. Consequently, the one-size-fits-all solutions that are pushed by either the national government entities or by the technology vendors do not necessarily apply in our city or any other city. This is a key learning from our journey. The second lesson is that each city is unique. Consequently, we need to understand our city, the consumption behavior of the residents and the visitors. We hosted pre-COVID in Medina 7 million visitors annually. This number grew to 13 million, almost double, by 2023. Last year, we hosted 18 million visitors annually, with a growth of almost 40%. It's big. And the independent agency Euromonitor has annual index, the best cities to visit. In 2025, number one in Saudi Arabia is Medina City. So coming back to our question, our lesson is how to understand the city in a way that we can explain it to the municipality urban planners, to the technology vendors, to plan and develop solutions that suit our city, because each city is unique. And we did that through something we call the City Experience Playbook.
So I'm fascinated by the City Experience Playbook. I think I want to see it for everybody. It really, and let me start, and then please jump in and explain it to us a little bit more. But this idea of really looking at a human-centric approach to a city.
Yes.
It's not about architecture. It's not about buildings. It's not about infrastructure. It's about people and how they use them. So,
indeed,
my understanding is you built these personae for different people at different times. You could be multiple things in a day, and that's allowed you to really shape different journeys and the interactions of different systems and different parts of the city
yes,
into a coordinated whole. How did you come up with that? How has that worked as a solution for making the city more livable, more effective, and more efficient?
Yes, the question that we started asking ourselves first, what is, as a destination, Medina as a destination, and as a livable city by its residents, what is the number one experience that both the visitors and the residents expect from the city? The answer was the serenity of the city, the calmness of the city. So, consequently, preserving the serenity of the city is a core outcome, as a core objective that we need to realize. The subsequent questions became, what types of people consume the city as residents and or visitors? We defined 7 personas that consume the city, and we defined for each persona objectives. Each persona has jobs to be done throughout the city. Then from each job to be done, tens of journeys are created. We outlined in details those journeys. So far, we've reached documenting 148 journeys. Those journeys have touch points throughout the city, and we created something that we call the city mesh. So the 148 journeys intersect with the infrastructure of the city, the processes of the government, the IoT devices in the city. So through these touch points, we understand our city better and eventually fulfill the objectives, the jobs to be done by those 7 personas. We documented all of these outcomes in the city playbook. And now this playbook has become the reference for the municipality urban planners. And it's our playbook to present to the technology vendors. So we no longer receive the nice sales executives with their nice PowerPoint presentations and nice catalogs. Instead, we present to them our city experience playbook and ask them very specific questions and ask their help with their solutions to address very specific touch points within the playbook. It's no longer the one-size-fits-all solutions that they are trying to impose on our city.
And with that playbook, it would seem that you're also working very hard to future-proof the city. So as things are evolving, as those personae evolve, you have the ability to evolve with the city.
Yes, indeed.
When it comes from a planning and a municipal perspective.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've raised that because we've launched the playbook in September 2023. So in the last, let's say, 18 months, plus or minus, we introduced 146 journeys. Now it's 148, so 2 additional journeys. But we changed around 9 journeys because different, the personas changed their perspective and expectations about the city. So it's a live document that we need to keep maintaining.
So we touched a bit in our conversations on the idea of Medina as a legacy city, and that it perhaps is very different to some of our other urban agglomerations or projects in Saudi, given it has 1,400 years of history. And we were talking a little bit about, the levels of history and maps
Yes.
that you're doing, 432 different layers of data that are stacked up in so many different ways. As you're tying together the huge amount of data and history and context that Medina has, how does that translate into lessons for other areas of Saudi and other cities or new regions that are starting from scratch?
Yeah.
What is the biggest lesson that you think you've learned that can be applied to others, acknowledging the uniqueness, but from a base perspective?
Yes, we have one of the most advanced geoinformation systems, not in Saudi Arabia, even in the world. It's called Manara platform. It has 472 layers of maps, and each layer has hundreds of data points. But the question again becomes how to utilize this huge amount of data to help the city take the right decisions towards the right direction. We focus our thinking on the outcomes rather than the inputs. So the outcomes are what we want to achieve by adopting such technology, but not wasting our time in talking and discussing the inputs, the technology itself. So we evolve everything that we do around 3 main core values: the sustainability of the city, its resilience, and consequently improving the quality of life of its residents and enriching the experiences of its visitors. So answering your question, the main lesson that we encourage other Saudi cities to follow is to focus on the outcomes rather than the inputs of the technology. The technology is a subsequent topic that needs to be discussed, but after anchoring your values, understanding your city, understanding your visitors' profile and the residents.
Thank you so much. I think what I take away for this is the people first, and just because you can doesn't mean you should when it comes to technology innovation. Abdulrahman, thank you so much. We look forward very much to seeing how Medina quietly becomes the most enabled tech city in Saudi Arabia, and we look forward to great things in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.